A very good evening to everyone, and I welcome you all. So, as you all know, this webinar, but before starting this webinar, I just have a small question: is how much does a supply chain mistake really cost? I mean, is it a delayed order or a minor inventory miscount, or could it be the reason businesses lose billions every year? The truth is, supply chain inefficiencies aren't just small hiccups, they are silent profit killers. And most businesses don't even realize it until it's too late. But here's the good news. Today, we are diving into something that will change the way you see your supply chain forever. And trust me, it's not just about managing logistics. It's about commanding intelligence. And leading us through this transformation is someone who has seen it all. And he's a supply chain strategist, an Odoo expert, and the guy who knows how exactly to take operations from manual mess to seamless efficiency. So let me introduce you to Yashas BD, our senior functional consultant and business analyst at Pragmatic TechSoft. He is going to break down all for you step by step. So Yashas, over to you.
Thank you, 𝗪𝗲𝗄. Thank you very much. Very good evening to one and all. So yes, I mean, without wasting much time, I'll get into the webinar. So I welcome you all. So today's topic that we are looking at is, as 𝗪𝗲𝗄 rightly mentioned, while running any industry or any enterprise, I'll keep that word for the entire presentation. For an enterprise, it could be a manufacturing enterprise or it could be a trading enterprise. Today, we are specifically speak about these two entities, but we are not going to look into something with respect to service industries. So when I talk about a manufacturing entity or when I talk about a trading entity, which involves handling of materials, which involves logistics, which involves the whole overall the overall enterprise stands on something called a supply chain. How do we reduce the losses? How do we bring more transparency? How do we bring the smarter decisions which the system can provide to us, or where we can attach the machine intelligence or the IoT things into my ERP stuff. So this is what we would look into today. What are the possibilities? Some use cases probably, or some scenarios where all I can integrate IoT. What are all the possibilities? So that's the thing. That's the headline for us today. Build the supply chain of the future in today itself. So let's get into the stuff. So what we always say that is, I mean, with respect to inventory, what you cannot track, you cannot improve, and that is what is costing for any particular enterprise. So what are we meaning by this? We are looking at solving these problems where manual bottlenecks are there and which are slowing down the operations. What do we mean by this? Even now, if you take up smaller and medium scale industries, at least in India per se, or anywhere across the globe, most of the people will be using manual registers. And if I need any information, for example, I have a manufacturing industry, because today we'll be dealing exclusively on manufacturing or trading industries, where I procure the material or I manufacture the material and I want to send the materials. Let us imagine we have our own fleet of vehicles also. Just to get a decision of how many vehicles are available with their capacity, I might not have things at hand to take up a decision within quick couple of minutes. I might literally have to depend on a person who might have to call. That person have to check all the drivers availability, all the vehicle availability, what is the capacity of each and every vehicle, and then by the time he gets me the details, it would have been hours together, within which I could have done much much better things. We could have reduced the number of the amount of time that is being taken with this information exchange. And that also means that it's very poor visibility. I do not know where my stock is available. For example, imagine I have a stock which is long lasting. That is, basically I have produced or I have procured materials which are available in my stock. Basically, my warehouse is very huge. Somewhere it is lying, but I do not know where exactly it is, which lot number it is, which batch number it is, which rail it is available, which aisle, which rack, which shelf it is available. It is not, immediately it's not available for me. So I know that my stock is there, but I do not know where it is. So all these things will put out a lot of, with respect to decision making, these will impact a lot. And most importantly, with all this, as I said, because of this inefficiency, I have to pay for additional labor, I have to invest on additional mechanisms for maintaining registers and all these things. It's a lot of cost at the end of the day. So what if the big question that we want to answer is, what if your supply chain worked in real time? That is, if I get to know all these details in quick moments of time, that is, I have a clear visibility, I don't have any bottleneck situations, or I don't have any deadlock situations, or I do not have more dependencies on each other. That is, it could be on departments or it could be on people, that I can access a system where I can get information so that I can get to decide as a store manager or a logistics head. I can decide on how should I put up my next inventory moves, or how can I plan my deliveries much in prior. So that will help us a lot. So that's the big question that we are answering. And today, with to achieve this, we are mainly looking into two aspects. One is Odoo ERP. That's what Pragmatic is very good at, and that's what we are working on since almost 1.5 decade. And then IoT, that is combining the IoT technologies which are available in the market, or which we can develop on our own, into Odoo. That is, assembling that into Odoo or incorporating that in Odoo. How can we faster the things? How can we enable the supply chain concept? Is the big question that we're looking at today. So, why supply chain matters? You might ask me, what is the reason? Why are we emphasizing on this? The most important thing is, with the statistics, the numbers, you will not be able to, it's very hard to digest, but imagine 600 billion US dollars is a loss that is annually put out due to manual errors. It could be with respect to documentation. It could be because we spend too much of time allocating vehicles, or we spend too much of time getting to know where my material is, how to plan my materials, how to plan the dispatch, or how to just get the capture the weight of the incoming materials. There are a lot of things where the supply chain comes into place, and we lose a lot of money. That is, enterprises or organizations lose a lot of money every day. In a daily basis, it would be very, very minimal. But when you take a year, or when you take half a year, the expenses that we incur is huge. Also, as I said, with IoT driven logistics, the deliveries can be faster. That is, with smarter technologies, with immediate decision making capabilities, we can do all these aspects very faster. You have already seen how the new age apps like Swiggy or Zomato or any other home delivery apps have boomed like very good, because anything that, even though number of customers in a city are huge, they're able to plan instantly, they're able to give deliveries instantly. So that now this is the just in time concept is like very well accomplished. And then, as I said, 70% of the supply chain leaders say the lack of visibility is their number one challenge, because at any point of time, if you ask any the decision maker, or the logistics person, or the store head, the most important part is, if you ask instantly what is your inventory, total inventory, or where is your inventory available, they literally have to search the registers. It's like instantly they'll not be able to take up a decision on, depending on a system or depending on a particular thing, because they'll have to depend on people, or they'll have to depend on so much of other things where they have to arrive at a decision. So with this thing, as I said, with IoT and Odoo, we want to make these things, that is, this decision maker making things as faster and also smarter. It should be a very accurate decisions that we take with respect to supply chain, and it should take less of our effort. It should be faster. So as I said, so Jeff Bezos very clearly mentions in one place, so the best supply chains aren't just fast, they're intelligent. Now that's what being achieved with a lot of inventions and a lot of integrations, in fact. So that's what we are going to look into. What are all the possibilities that we can see? Other couple of things, as I said, the factories aren't just getting smarter, they're also getting unstoppable. But how? Now, with respect to with the this thing of AI and IoT, 80% of the manufacturers say IoT is the key for any competitiveness. That is, instead of depending completely on manual labor, I would also rather take up a machine advice, or I would gather data from a machine. I get to know when the machine is going to be broken down, or when there is a new service that's going to come up, so that we can plan very well in ahead. I don't have to wait till the moment occurs. I can plan very well in advance. And also, as I said, the what McKinsey say, because of the very much this thing where I can plan ahead, we can also make sure that there is 30 to 50% lesser downtime instead of waiting till the machine breaks down or something like that. Based on the machine's current state of this thing that is working, we can also get to know that when was the last time a predictive preventive maintenance was done, or a corrective maintenance was done. I'm sorry, I think I'm sorry for the disturbance. I would request everyone to please mute your these things, that is audios, please. So proceeding ahead, I'm sorry, as I said, with what we are looking at for today is, it's a combination of ERP along with AI and IoT technologies, where we get to know what is happening in the this things, where with this integration, how well we can give you the solutions. That is, how well we can solve the problems in supply chain. As I said, we smart factories is in the future, it's now. That is, with smaller moves, with smaller integrations, with smaller technologies that can be incorporated into our ERP tools, we can make those changes in our supply chain methods. As I said, one of the key important aspects that we are trying to solve today is most importantly about the inventory. How we can make sure the inventory is maintained well. How we can get to know, when I say maintained well, it's not about the stock level, not just about the stock levels. We get to know the complete visibility. That is, it could be based on for counting purposes, where the material is located, how well, for example, a particular lot number can be identified, or a serial number can be identified using a barcode or a QR code, or how does the entire material movement is allocated, and then also how can we also make sure the losses are less. And then the most important aspect is real-time tracking. That is, if I want to plan the logistics, if I want to plan the auditing, how well we can do this using the technologies of both Odoo and IoT available. So for today's example, as I said, I'm going to take up a couple of things. One is with respect to Odoo. You might ask me why exactly you are specifying on Odoo. One is, most importantly, you might have already, I'll give you a brief introduction about Odoo. In fact, you might have already seen this, but Odoo is an open tool, open source ERP tool, where it is from basically it's from Belgium, and it's one good ERP tool where all the apps, in fact, all the processes of supply chain or even a business enterprise is incorporated. It could be starting from your customer relations management to your HR, hire to fire, to order to cash, procure to pay. It suits very well even for that is manufacturing entities, retail entities, or even trading entities. Also for service entities, for example, any for example, complete IT related firms where timesheets, projects are going to be the main areas. So even that will work better. So using this particular ERP tool, we want to solve the problems which are available in the market, in the industry, so that with the tools of IoT and AI, and also using ERP, we bring in the technologies together so that the inventory, the manufacturing, the whole supply chain gets an advantage of IoT devices, that is the Internet of Things devices, so that we get on-time information, we track the inventory better, we have a better visibility. So as I said, the brain we can put out the IoT and Odoo as the brain and nervous system, where your entire this thing will be Odoo. That is, the nervous system will be Odoo, where your all the modules are centralized and automated processes will be available. Using IoT things, we'll get on time this thing information and also intelligence. So keeping these two in mind, we want to say that when IRP meets IoT, it's not just the reactive thing, it becomes the predictive thing. That is, you don't react to situations, but you get to know what's going to happen. You plan things very well in ahead. So as I said, that's one good thing, not just to optimize, but to revolutionize the whole industry. So today we are going to specifically look into this one industry. I'm going to give you an example. Before jumping in, I want jumping into a couple of scenarios that we want to propose to the audience. Assume in mind you have a manufacturing entity. Let's take up, for example, plastic products. To be very specific, let us imagine pipe manufacturing industry, where you have your own enterprise of manufacturing pipes. You first purchase the raw materials. the materials comes in, and then you use the raw materials and you manufacture pipes, and then you sell it to your customers. So this is an overall scenario of an enterprise. Now let's go and look into where all we can integrate IoT into Odoo, or the intelligence into Odoo, wherein let us also imagine that we are using Odoo as the ERP over here, and let us see where all we can bring in good things where a lot of traceability can be brought into place. So the first scenario is, most importantly, this is where we want to propose, where the material movement is happening into the warehouse or into the factory. So right now, most importantly, any purchases that is put up by the organization will have a purchase order. And then, but in the regular scenarios, there will be one security guy with the register, and he'll just write it down, books after books, books after books, books after books. But what if this data can be put out into Odoo and also be used as a control check for our procurement and also for our material receipts? How does this make a change? I'll tell you that. So what we suggest is, basically, if there are barcode scanners, if there are these things, because Odoo by default allows any particular document to have its own barcode. For example, a purchase order can have a barcode, a product can have a barcode, a particular location can have a barcode. So with each and every document, with each and every product, with each and every operation or transaction, because we have a by default feature of barcodes and QR codes in Odoo, we can build a small customization, or we can build a solution in such a way that a regular security guy can log in into Odoo. The moment when a material comes in, he can quickly check what all documents, that is basically any document, I mean any material that comes in, either comes with a purchase order or comes with a sales return, because there is also a possibility where my materials can come back, which I have sold because of any problems, or because it was excess, the material was bought in, or any particular material can be bought in for maintenance. So these are possible three possibilities where any material will get into my factory. All of
Hello.
this has to sorry. Yeah, so I guess there was a disturbance again. So with all this, what we want to propose is, basically, we want to have these small solutions built in, where we build a system in such a way that for a security person, we can give necessary documentation where they input the data in Odoo, and that can be put out to our warehouse team. So what are the advantages of this? Right now, you might be, you might have come across where a lot of places where, if I have a material which has come in, and the material has to be unloaded, the logistics team will always complain that it takes a lot of time, or even the transport agencies might complain to the internal this thing, that I'm not able to give a lot of, I'm not able to calculate the turnaround time, because there will be a lot of this thing, that there was no space available. Your team took a lot of time to unload, because every hour for the logistics guy, as long as he stays on board with the material, is a cost. So he'll definitely ask, like, why, the more number of hours you keep me on board, the more you have to pay. So with all these things, if we build a solution where the details can be recorded with all possible documents, from the security to the logistics, we can reduce the this thing, that is basically the turnaround time. We can get the visibility. Now, how are we going to do this? I can give you a couple of scenarios where we can have a system in such a way that the security guy, in Odoo itself, he can log in, he can put out the details, where what is the vehicle number, what are the purchase order number, or what are the actual documents of the this thing, that is based on which the material is coming in. And then once the security check is done, we can clear off for the further procedures. That is basically all the data will be saved, and it can go for the next aspect, that is for material unloading, in such a way that we can also stop things in the warehouse, in the logistics, where if at all the security has not processed the documents, I cannot unload the goods, because that's the first thing that needs to happen. I cannot that is bypass this process, and I can go ahead, which will also give me very clear details, that when did the vehicle enter, how much time did it stay, where it has to go and unlock, unload all the materials, and all these aspects. So this is one solution. In fact, this can be automated into much higher level, where if not the security, if the organization can bring in a standardization of the barcodes or the QR codes for each and every document, that is a purchase order, or the sales return, or the maintenance order, it can also be scanned. And if there is a active, that is IoT integrated boom barrier in place, it can open on its own. It need not have a security person also. But in medium and small scale industries, usually there will be a manpower. So this solution would also work good. Now, what are the advantages of using this? We can make sure 50% faster check-ins, as I said, for fraud-proof operations and seamless coordination. That is, vehicles entered, basically we have all the documents in place. Nobody can enter without any authorized authorized documentation. And then this can also give a very good this thing for especially the turnaround time. When did the vehicle come in, and how much time did it take to unload the vehicles and it go back, so that we have a clear time of the vehicle arrival until the unloading of the material. So this is one problem that we think we can solve it with the help of both Odoo and also IoT. There is no standard module available for recording this. It should be a customization, a solution which can be built in Odoo. Next one is basically that is, now imagine, as I said, the first process where it's a manufacturing entity or a trading entity where we are trading or manufacturing the goods of plastic products. So I have an entity where my material has come in. Now the first solution what we proposed is to have a security person record all the details. Now is to weigh these goods and invert these goods. Now the most important part over here, especially with respect to bulk products, how are we going to do this? Usually there will be a huge weigh bridge over there. That's the problem statement, where how do I record the weight of this product? Most of the places, most of the weigh bridges or most of the weighing machines will be in the there will be again a register where they literally have to write what vehicle is this, what is the purchase order number, and what material came in, and how much is the weight. They'll manually write it. But what if we can integrate that particular machine using IoT? I mean, it depends on what type of the machine it is. A simple weigh bridge or a simple weighing machine that can definitely be integrated with our Odoo system, where it can clearly say, again, we can use the standard features of barcode of Odoo, QR codes of Odoo, where we can scan the document number, because each and every document can have its own barcode. We can even scan the purchase order line, and that is basically the product line. And then we can say, okay, this was the order quantity, this is the weight that is coming up, and this weight completely goes and sits to the receipt document. So this is another solution where we propose that is, instead of manually entering the data, we can put it out through the weighment option. Usually what happens is, as I said, the reason for this solution is it gives us 100% accuracy, and it reduces losses to the minimum extent. Most importantly, what happens usually in the heavy these things, apart from weighing the whole product separately, what they do is basically they take out as and when the vehicle comes in, they weigh the entire vehicle. The vehicle goes and stands on the weigh bridge. They'll calculate the entire total weight. They'll unload the material. Again, they'll bring the empty vehicle and weigh it, so that they get to know the difference. So that's the recorded weight. This can also be transferred into Odoo. As I said, if the weigh bridge can be put out, if the weigh bridge has certain mechanisms where it can transfer the data, or we can make it in such a way that we can customize usually that will have its own software. So customize in such a way that where I can get that data into Odoo, this becomes a seamless operation, where into the receipts, I get the weighment details so that we can continue the weighment process. All these places, again, as I said, we are reducing, if you observe, we are reducing a lot of paperwork, and we are proposing a lot of automated work where manual errors can be reduced. Now that, again, coming back to our example problem, where I have a manufacturing entity of plastic manufacturing or trading of the plastic products. We got the material. We propose the first solution where we can have a automated security, or a sophisticated security mechanism with IoT and the barcode mechanisms. Then comes the weighment, where I have weighed my goods. The material is now available in my warehouse. Even while keeping in the warehouse, you already know, or probably Odoo, you will be knowing in the Odoo, where each and every location has a barcode. Each and every rack, each and every shelf, each and every aisle and zone can have a barcode and QR code, so that the moment you are keeping or putting that particular product in a particular location, you can just scan the QR code or the barcode of the location, so that you will clearly get to know which location it is. The product is, how many kilos is available in one particular location, how many kilos of the same product is available in second location. So these are all the advantages of Odoo and IoT. Going further, the third scenario is where this is, again, most importantly, very apt for manufacturing of especially the plastic pipes or even metallic pipes, where large number of pipes will be manufactured. The most important part is when we manufacture a particular product, especially with respect to pipes, the input that is provided is the plastic powder or the raw material, which cannot be weighed directly, because most of these aspects will be put out into a mixing machine, which will be completely automated, and it's a continuous process. I cannot say if I get 100 pipes, how much does each and every pipe weigh? That is, I get in numbers, I do not know the weight. That's the first problem. Second problem is, how much did I consume for this? I don't even know this information. Now, how do I tackle this? So that's the biggest problem over here, where we want to make the machines talk to each other in such a way. As I said, first is that we cannot track how much is the weight of the product. Second is, I do not know how much is the consumption of the products. Because of which, the solution that we propose is basically, when I manufacture those products, I first weigh this. Again, this is called an extrusion mechanism of manufacturing, where I put out the, I mean, once the plastic pipes or the metallic pipes come out of the extrusion machine, we stack them up, we weigh them, and we get to know, okay, there are 100 pipes over here, and 100 pipes will weigh 100 kilograms, for example. So that means each pipe will weigh 1 kilo each. And also, to get exact number of pipes, imagine the image itself over here. Counting it manually, we might end up in making errors. So in such scenarios, we also propose solutions where image processing can help. That is, AI and ML tools can help, wherein in such a way that if we can take up an image of a particular product, of the whole pipe stacked up, it can give you the exact number of pipes. There might be small mistakes here and there, but we can rectify immediately. But apart from also having a manual labor counted, we can also have a system that do the counts. And all this information will come back and sit into Odoo if we have right integrations. So the weighment and the number of pipes manufactured over there will give us the exact number of this thing, where we get to know total weight of those pipes and how many number of pipes are there, so that we get to know how much is the weight per pipe, which is nothing but our consumption. That is, how much is consumed for each and every particular product. It is also required further, where if I have lot numbers or batch numbers, for example, in a manufacturing order, I put out 100 batches, or let's take up simple 10 batches with different lot numbers. Each and every lot number, we can provide the overall weight with individual product and the overall weight of the lot also. So with this, with these mechanisms, we can make sure that the weight of the product is also captured, the number of products is also captured, and it is integrated into the Odoo standard process of manufacturing order. This can go up to, as I said, into the lot numbers, into the batch numbers, and where I can locate further. So, as I said, the reason for this is basically numbers don't lie, but people can miscount. That's one of the main reasons why we are proposing these solutions, because these are all the problems that we encountered in the industry. That is, there are certain places, certain places in the sense, there are certain scenarios where people make mistakes, either deliberately or sometimes even, because of the lot of tiredness while working, or they missed, someone disturbed while counting. So many things happen, and most importantly, most of the places they use registers, that is the manual registers. Instead of this, if we can use devices along with people, which will have like a double check mechanism, where the person has counted and he'll also take an image and also check the weighment, it matches both, and he'll enter into the ERP system rather than writing it in a paper. So with this kind of scenarios, we can enhance in such a way that we can accurately track the materials. We can also have very good quality control, and most importantly, the entire production and entire supply chain. That is, how much did I manufacture, how much did the consumption, how much did I consume, and where am I locating all these products, will be automated. So the next part is, most importantly, now that I have got the material, that is the gate invert and all happen completed. Now I have even received the materials with weighment. I have also procured with the technologies where we introduced weighment, we introduced the taking a image with the this thing, and then getting the count. We also calculated all this consumption. Production is done, the material is available. Now that, let us imagine I have 5 to 10 sales orders, and I have a large network of dispatch. I have my own vehicles. I want to know which vehicles can suffice this particular order. But if I want to get this information immediately, we'll have to literally ask someone who is the logistics head, and he'll have to go through literally what who are available, which vehicles are available, what is their tonnage capacity, which this thing order can I fit for which particular vehicle. Instead, what if we can have the Odoo fleet solution, where Odoo has a standard fleet module where I record all the vehicle details. That is, how many vehicles are available, which are not idle for me, which are not idle in the sense those which have gone for delivery will be already not shown as idle. Those which are idle will also have what is the vehicle capacity, which this thing is available, and all these aspects. The moment I get to know this, as I said, you can see in the images where I have a transport truck, I have a pickup van with maximum weight and maximum value. And with a batch, if I have the certain number of, like for example, 10 sale orders, where I create a batch picking, where I combine the deliveries of 10 orders and put out into one batch, I can clearly get to know what is the max capacity. You can see over here what is the max weight and what is the volume. 50-meter cube is what you require, and a weight of 118 kilos. And we want a vehicle category where I get to know, okay, how many vehicles are available. Using this kind of integration, small enhancements, we can clearly get to know what vehicle is available. And if I allocate this particular vehicle, it will get to know what is the this thing that is load. And also we can put out, okay, what all it can match. That is basically which particular lot numbers are available, which is the in which vehicle we have to load, all these things we'll get to know. And most importantly, once this loading and other things are done, now that in fact, Pragmatic has also built one app where we can put out the all the pin codes, and it will give you the easiest route possible. That is, we have put out an enhancement using Google Maps and also using Odoo, where if I put out a certain number of dispatches, that is 10 dispatches, it will clearly say based on the pin codes, that is the delivery location of the customer, it will clearly tell me, okay, this is the possible route that you can take up. So that will be easy for you. So that with this solution, imagine I get to know I have 10 sales orders, I want to dispatch all of them. I get to know what vehicles are there, what is their capacity, will it fit in, how much time it's going to take to load, where all I have the materials. Because I already said, if I know the very clear availability of where my materials are located, I can immediately say, pick this from rack A, pick this from shelf B, pick this from zone A. So I can immediately say to my picking guys that, okay, go, I'll give them a picking sheet. These are all the places where the material is available. This much material we have to load. So that is also taken care. And also I get to know, okay, where all I have to deliver. So my logistics is also handled. I'll give this document to my logistics guy, where he gets to know, okay, 10 deliveries has to be done, and these are the pin codes and these are the locations that I have to put out. So with this solution, what we are trying to propose is to reduce the number of time that we take to decide on what is the I mean, especially with respect to vehicles and with respect to how the picking should happen. What vehicle is available, what route should I take, where should I pick the material from, which vehicle is suitable for us. So all these problems can be solved with this particular solution. And then as I said, with this we can also make sure the real-time vehicle tracking. This is the last part of this particular scenario, where once the dispatch is done, that is, I loaded the vehicle and I invoiced the particular customers. I mean, I put out all the 10 invoices for 10 customers. The vehicle is done. I mean, the vehicle left the warehouse. We can also make sure the GPS can be integrated into Odoo, clearly showing the odometer value and also the location value. Where is my particular vehicle and what is its odometer value? It can even give the fuel value also. I mean, what is the fuel level in the vehicle? Where all did it stop? How much time did it stop in each and every this thing? And also, where is it going? So that the logistics guy can keep an active track of each and every dispatch. What will this help for? I can clearly tell my customers, I can clearly give an ETA that there is a delay, or this is the exact time that it's going to reach. Where is the vehicle right now, which particular district or which particular state it is right now, and all these aspects we can give it, so that we can have both customer and the implementer, that is basically the enterprise owner, can have a better visibility of the entire logistics aspect. And it also gives a very good clear information to the customers as well. In fact, going ahead, if we can enhance Odoo in such a way that's the beauty of Odoo, where because it is open source and also integratable to a lot of these things, open APIs or other tools as well, we can make it in such a way that the customer can also be given access to have for his dispatch to have a live tracking once the dispatch is commenced. So that level of enhancement we can get it done through Odoo. And the last scenario is something, now that we have addressed the vehicle movements and the inventory movements, last thing is something which with respect to do with HRMS, where we are proposing a solution or we are trying to answer a problem where how can we put out AI and ML tool for HRMS and security enhancements. What are we trying to put out over here is we want to know who enters, who leaves, or when and how. Not just using the barcode, that is basically the RFID scanners or the badges or the manual registers, but can an AI solution be also a tool for us? We say yes, because as I said, there are manual verification leads to, which will lead to delay, and there can be security gaps. Biometric systems can also be bypassed or even can be hacked. There are certain manual malpractices can also be put out where the badges can be swapped and all these things. So in such a way that and also even in my shop floor, especially with respect to my operators who are on a non-contract basis, it will be a very difficult thing for asking them to have a badge or asking them to sign every time they have to put out a task in a particular machine or something like that. So what if we can have a system which is smart, which can just enter all these details with my face getting read in the system? So the solution that we provide is, we propose is something where, imagine our CCTVs are enabled with AI tools in the backend, which can be integrated later into Odoo, wherein the moment I walk into office or the moment I sit in front of a machine, it will read the my face, or it will get to know that yes, this is Yashas, or this is 𝗪𝗂𝗽𝗶𝗆𝗆, for example, and it will record that yes, this particular person entered the office, he started the operations at a particular time, he completed the operation at a particular time, he left office at a particular time. So it in such a way that our biometric or the manual entry can be eliminated, which will directly be integrated. This attendance can be directly integratable, as I said, again, because of Odoo's capability, where we can enhance the system in such a way that I can integrate the attendance table of Odoo, where every day it will record when did I enter, when did I exit. It will clearly give how much time I spent at office or how much time I was available at work. With all these things, we can eliminate, because you have seen now every phone has a face reader or this thing, that is a tool which can immediately we'll just swipe in the screen and it will read only my face or the faces that we record. So when it is available very quickly at a smartphone, why can't we integrate into a ERP tool? Is our this thing is our argument, in fact. So with all these changes, with all these enhancements with Odoo in place and also these tools available in place, we believe that it can be enhanced in such a way that the manual work or the malpractices or the redundant tools can be eliminated, and we can have a better access. So as I said, with smarter workforce, we'll have a higher accountability and no blind spots, because nobody can cheat a CCTV camera where if I don't have the this thing, that is, if my face is not red, the lock might not open into the door itself. So all these things can be put in place. The machine would not start if my this thing, that is, my face is not red and registered. So with all these things in place, we believe that we can enhance the productivity of the entire system. The visibility of the whole system would be enhanced. So these are all couple of these things. As I said, again, I'm mentioning why Odoo and why IoT, because we can have, in fact, a tool like Odoo can make sure we can automate end to end. And it can, and because it is an open source tool and also backed by strong Python language, we believe that AI also can be integrated and we can take it up. And any machine or any logistics aspect or anything can be synced in real time. As I said, barcodes, QR codes, because those are part and parcel of Odoo already. And with this, we believe that, as I said, 30% increase in productivity can be seen, which is also mentioned by BCG report, and we can even reduce the operational cost by 20 to 40% with the integrations with IoT and smarter tools. And also, most importantly, the faster decision making. That's the biggest thing, because we don't have to depend on manual the manual labor, where if we need to take a decision, I need information at my fingertips. So all these things, we believe that we can eliminate with the integration of Odoo and IoT. And as I said, this is what I believe. So you need hard workers along with smarter system, not just the people who work in the factories, but also systems which will back them up, and it will give real-time information. So this was an overall insight about, macro level, this thing of possibilities of what we can enhance in a particular shop floor or in a particular enterprise. As I said, we wanted to put that out with respect to how AI and IoT can take up with Odoo. So these were all possible scenarios that we believe that can enhance efficiency, can enhance the visibility, and enhance traceability. So I end this particular webinar over here. So if you have any questions, please do ask me. You can go ahead.
Fine. It's a yeah. So first of all, a very big thank you, Yashas, for delivering such a wonderful and thought-provoking webinar. Also, one more thing, like as we have all seen that how small inefficiencies can cause big, but the right tool like Odoo, with that you can stay ahead. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask, or you can drop into the chat. We are here to help. Anyone? I think no problem. Yes, if anyone has any question, you can come up with. Okay, fine. Thank
Okay,
you,
I
everyone.
can thank
Sorry,
you
yes.
for all of these illustrations. Actually, it's very, very interesting. Okay, so I would like to know if we have the possibility to implement this system with this huge details. I believe if we assume the cost against the benefits, how we can measure it?
A very good question, Mr. Ahmad. So basically, which particular problem would you like to solve? I mean, my question is that, for example, now you asked about the what is my benefits and what is my cost.
Yes,
For example, I'll give you a simple example where let us take the weighment and the especially at the time of manufacturing. At the time of counting and manufacturing, in fact, the where I
yes,
mentioned about I have plastic pipes where I have to manually count them and also weigh them. Right now, there is no tool, especially where it can count within 5-10 seconds. I'm speaking about seconds, not about like, because if you ask me to count 100 pipes stacked manually, it will at least take minimum of 2 minutes. And if someone disturbs me in between, I can make the count. I mean, I can take the count completely wrong.
totally agree. Yes,
And also, I have to weigh it separately, and then I have to count it so that I get to know how many number of pipes and how much is the weighment. The whole process can take up anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes, where I cannot locate these materials into the warehouse. So imagine having a solution where you already have a weighment in your factory. I mean, definitely you will have your weigh scales. If that weigh scale with the small, I mean, there definitely there will be electronics in place. With a simple RFID device or other aspects, we can integrate into Odoo. We can even take it with the I mean, LAN network or anything. The data passing can happen in the background. If it can be integratable into Odoo database, you can simply take it in a manufacturing order. What is the total? You will have a solution from IoT, because there are a lot of players in the market where the AI tools are built up with not a huge cost.
yeah,
The probably there is I can say a subscription can come up to 5 to 10,000 or even 15,000 a month for taking up an image and taking the looking into the count of it. But imagine the end effects. That is, you can use it for, as I said, that's the reason I took this specific example for plastic pipes or metal pipes, where I have a lot of dispatches to be done every day on a daily basis. I'm manufacturing and I'm also dispatching. Imagine the number of people I have to put it just to count the number of pipes. That manual labor can be replaced with this one subscription of taking up, I mean, an AI tool where I can just take an image and it will again come back and sit into Odoo, and it can give you the results within 5 to 10 seconds. So on a longer run, these will be fruitful. My most important aspect where I'm mentioning over here is the manual mistakes that is going to be eliminated. You will not have to worry about someone, because in the plastic industries, or even in the metal industries, one completely manufactured pipe costs a lot. And if manually someone makes a mistake of reducing the number of count, even though there is 100, I write it as 99. My consumption is wrong. My cost of consumption is wrong. My warehouse, my inventory is wrong, and then my dispatches are also wrong. So
yeah.
it's a chain of reaction which will happen with one mistake. So to eliminate that, yes, definitely everything. I mean, with quality comes with definitely there will be a cost of it. But at a longer run, you will eliminate those errors in such a way that you will not have to doubt any people, or you will not have to doubt any process.
Get the point. Thank you so much.
Okay, hopefully we have answered your question. Is anyone Anyone have any other questions?
Would you please share the recording of the session after the meeting?
Yeah, we'll share it through mail.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. Anyone? Fine. I think we have covered everything. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Yashas, for joining, and everyone, thank you so much. Let's meet soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a good day.